And welcome back to the Big Rapids Boys Varsity pregame show. This is Chris Healy with Coach Ken Ingles, who just got done sharing his pregame meal with his grandson. It looked like a pretty scrumptious candy bar there, Coach.
He ate the hot dog and the chips. He didn't share those. I had to steal a piece of his candy bar.
Now, Coach, you came off of the big win Friday night, but it was also an emotional win, which, playing morally a rivalry game, you kind of expect that. What were your thoughts after that game?
What was the old Rodney Dangerfield line? I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out, or something like that. I went to a fight and a basketball game broke out because it was pretty wild. Probably should. Q went to the line 20 times, and he probably should have shot 40 free throws. Mm-hmm. He got knocked down a number of times, and it was they shot a lot of free throws. Let's put that, and so did Q. But you got to control the game a little bit better than what happened again too. So probably wasn't indicative. Hopefully the next time we meet him, it'll be a better basketball game.
It certainly was emotional, and some of that emotion really played out there in the third quarter. You had a guy ejected that you won't have tonight in Jake Hayes, and then Morley also had a technical for hanging on the rim. You don't want to take the emotions away from the players, but how do you kind of reel that in?
Well, normally I really jump on a kid when he, when he gets that, and I'll repeat to you, and I don't want to get them in trouble. What the Morley's coaches said is, your kid really got taken. He didn't deserve either one of them again. Too, there were some things that happened during the ball game that were totally ignored early on both sides, and all of a sudden they decided to tighten it up. And there was some taunting going on both sides, and they taunted, and we taunted once, and we got caught. We shouldn't have done that, but I mean, you just got to be consistent with what happened again too. So Jake knows he can't be so emotional, and he knows he's going to sit out tonight, and it's just not going to happen again. We've taken care of it, and as I say, the next time we play them, we'll play basketball. We'll hopefully have a better officiated game, and we can play the game.
Coming towards tonight, Holton is a team that, because of the weather, hasn't really played a whole lot of games. Just coming into tonight 1-3, what do you expect from the Holton squad?
Well, probably a zone, and they have pretty good athletes. I don't know as they have any really good basketball players, but coach does a good job with them, and they're going to play hard, and they're going to hit us with a zone. We haven't seen a zone yet. Mm-hmm. So we're going to wait and see. Our preparation is probably a little bit different than other people's because number one, we have Q, and nobody plays us normal. Yeah. Nobody lines up and is going to play us in a straight zone, or they're not going to play us in a straight man or something like that. So our kids kind of have to adjust on the fly, and we'll just kind of wait and see what happens. I'm waiting for some of our other kids to put the ball in the hole a little bit better because we are a lot better shooting team than what we've done again too, and they're going to get all kinds of opportunities because Q is going to attract a lot of attention tonight. In fact, you're probably aware of the fact he's 10 points from hitting 1,000 tonight, so we're hoping he gets that out of the way early, and that's kind of a bump in the road that sometimes you push a little bit hard trying to get it. So hoping that he gets it early, and so I really don't know what to expect of him. I expect our kids to play hard, and we had the bump in the road at Central Montcalm earlier, and we didn't play as hard or as smart as what we did. So maybe in a nutshell, I could say we're playing harder. Now we got to play smarter. Hopefully we can do that tonight, Chris.
You mentioned Quinn Tyson and the 10 points away from the 1,000-point club, which is not only a great feat for him, but for this Cardinal program. But watching Quinn, it seems like he doesn't really force the action too much. He's pretty smart about getting his teammates involved and knowing when to pick his spots. Can you just talk about that?
Well, Q has improved in all aspects of the game. He's always been a shooter and a scorer, and he does the one thing that all great scorers do. He creates space when he shoots the ball. He knows how to do that. What people probably don't notice is he's gotten a whole lot better defensively. He's gotten quicker again. He makes the pass. He knows he's going to get doubled most of the time. And so there's some times out there, and quite frankly, we use him as a decoy because we know he's going to make the pass and somebody else is going to be open. So he's just become a better all-around basketball player. And again, to his credit, he has worked. We were over at the junior high kids working with them the other day, and I turned around and I was trying to motivate the young kids that were there, and I said, Q, out of 365 days this last year, how many days did you play basketball without batting an eye? He says, Coach, only 362 and a half. So that pretty much says it.
Certainly a basketball junkie when you put it at that way, and you mentioned the high basketball IQ. Is that kind of something that you really look forward to when you look at not only what you have this year on the varsity team, but the JV level, the freshman level, and even down into the middle school and little kids?
Well, you have to understand the game to play it in. This is the generation of Sports Center and the top 10 plays, and
Instant gratification.
yeah, and they don't, and what they see are the dunks and the steals and the fancy stuff that they can't do. I'm waiting for Sports Center to put a segment in where this guy made a really good two-hand chest pass, or this guy made a pass when he actually looked at somebody, or he laid it up with his left hand on the left side of the bucket. And I think, and that's not a Big Rapids thing. That's universal right now. When you see kids from other schools, they're practicing things that they do not understand that these guys are professional athletes, and they make the extraordinary look very simple.
Yeah.
Okay, and we try it, and we look pretty stupid when we do it too. So, but yeah, and where I guess I'm going with that, Chris, is sometimes when you see all these fancy things that happen, sometimes the fundamentals go by the wayside because there's that Sports Center that doesn't really talk about those things. They talk about only the spectacular things and show the spectacular things. And I wish they'd just show what people call the mundane things. This guy took the charge, this guy hedged down the pick, that type of thing that these kids have to understand. So I'm going nowhere with this because they're not listening. But anyway, that's my viewpoint. Okay.
But certainly, Coach, the simple things, it helps make the big things happen, and we certainly look forward to seeing that tonight as your team takes on the Holden Red Devils. Thank you for your time, Coach, and look forward to talking with you after the game.
Thanks, Chris. Big week for us. 3 games.